The Fall is a movie that's made all the more poignant by the fact that it's the last film by the late actor Song Jae-rim. The movie tackles the all-too-famous lunar coin scandal head-on, which once rocked South Korean society. However, rather than the quality of the movie itself or its message, it's an unfortunate movie that became a bigger story when its lead actor, Song Jae-rim, suddenly passed away before its release. The subtitle at the beginning of the movie is all the more meaningful for this, and gives a sense of bitter irony. This movie is based on true events but is fictionalized, which is like saying I've been drinking but I'm not driving drunk. It's a blatantly obvious setup and plot point that's bound to bring to mind a certain coin situation, but the fiction defense doesn't make it any less entertaining. It's probably the least they could do to avoid legal issues or controversy, but it's a bit of a cop-out for the audience. To truly understand a character, it helps to look into his past. A person can never be free from their past, and The Fall also tries to shed light on the past of its protagonist, young Do-hyun Song Jae-rim, especially from his school days to show why he was driven to make such dangerous choices. Do-hyun's mother goes to illegal lengths to secure her son's education, pushing him into the Daechi-dong school district in Gangnam, even going so far as to hand over money to the landlord of the address every month as rent, even though she doesn't actually live there. However, far from being grateful for his mother's devotion, Yang Hyun seems ashamed of his poverty and his mother's very existence and desperately wants to erase it. This is where his twisted desires and struggle for recognition begin. Although he excelled in school, he experienced a crucial opportunity being taken away from him by a friend with a disability, and when he later found out that the friend was not actually disabled and had taken advantage of the system, he was devastated and seems to have developed a cynical and perverse perception of, this is how the world works. This past experience provides a kind of learning effect for Yang, who later became a university student. He realizes that government funding is blind money that is not monitored, and he starts to make easy money by falsifying documents or cleverly using various point system to get government funding. It's not just a fictional story from a movie. It's a bitter pillar of our society that could easily happen in real life, and is probably happening somewhere right now. Yang Yang-hyun meets Kevin, played by Min Sung-wook, an investor who seems to be a big player in the cryptocurrency industry, and begins to embark on the risky path of coin development. Kevin is probably trying to capitalize on Yang's youth and prestigious university credentials to position himself as a pantser. Yang Hyun is somewhat rude and cocky in front of Kevin, but Kevin interprets it as youthful ambition and brash confidence and seems intrigued. Eventually, Yang Hyun develops her own cryptocurrency called Mommy Coin, a name that reflects her own deficiencies and desires, and begins to attract investors by making public appearances and promoting it enthusiastically. Still young and unafraid of the world, Yang acts as if he's running without brakes, as if there's nothing to fear. Kevin, on the other hand, is a seasoned veteran who has already sensed the upcoming danger and has elaborate defenses in place to protect himself, including avoiding legal liability. Their opposing attitudes will prove to be a major turning point in their respective fates. The movie is based on the aforementioned Luna coin crash and other scam coin controversies that have caused tremendous shock and damage to South Korean society. It's interesting to note that the director of the movie has revealed in interviews that he actually suffered significant financial losses from investing in Lunar coin. Maybe that's why he was more personally motivated to make this story into a movie. But to be honest, the movie itself leaves me with the impression that it's lackluster in many ways, especially the way the events unfold and the lack of conviction. The explanation of why the Mommy coin gained such an enthusiastic response in such a short amount of time, and what specific mechanisms and processes led to its collapse, is fairly thin and superficial. It's almost as if the director is saying, you all know what happened with Luna, so I'm not going to bore you with the details. It's a little unkind to assume that the audience already has the relevant background knowledge and then try to make the story too easy for them. It's also a big disappointment that the film doesn't delve deeply into the inner psychology of the protagonist, Yang Yang-hyun. It's hard to fully immerse yourself in the character because the complex motivations behind his actions, his obsession with success, or the despair and guilt he must have felt after the crash are not effectively portrayed. I learned that this is a low-budget independent film that cost around 500 million won to make, and that it was originally planned as a 6-part drama that was changed to a movie due to various circumstances. But I strongly believe that a drama format would have been more suitable for this story, as it would have given the characters more time to develop their narratives and the details of the events. I think the subject matter was simply too vast and complex to fit into the limited running time of a movie, and as a result, I'm not sure what the movie ultimately wanted to say or what its core message was. Nevertheless, it's the actors' performances that really shine in this movie, especially the steady pairing of the late great Song Jae-rim and veteran Min Sung-wook. The two actors make their respective characters three-dimensional and convincing, even in the face of a somewhat loose and underdeveloped narrative, and are instrumental in keeping the movie engaging until the very end. In the end, despite its willingness to tackle an important and timely subject matter, The Fall, with its many structural limitations and disappointments, is likely to be remembered as an all too unfortunate final filmography for a good actor in Song Jae-rim. Perhaps we should take heart in the fact that we get to see his final performance on screen.